What's up YouTube? Now today I've got a pretty rare German fuse for you. It's a solid brass KZ14 Mark SM and dated 1915. It also has the lot number at 59 and 34, and obviously the hole for the pin. The screw that would hold the cap on is there that I've drilled out, and unfortunately the bottom bits look as if they are missing, which is expectable as these were made of steel, so they would have rusted away and just fallen out. But the original brass inside filler areas have been preserved in the brass. So now onwards as it unscrews. And this is rare because it is the brass top and the brass base. Normally these are made in aluminium with a steel top or an alloy top, and the aluminium corroded and the steel rusted, which left it just a lump of metal. So it's quite nice, and the threads are in great condition with no damage, and it screws on easily. And in there you can see the top bit. Now inside this cap there is a spring, but as you can see by the 4 holes, it has been punched, so it would never come out. You'd just be wasting your time trying to get that out. And then in this one, which you can see is a screw, that won't come out. I have tried to get that out, but it won't budge. But inside there is a hole that leads all the way down and would come out in the centre of the bottom to set the charge off. And it all screws back together nicely. Now, when the war got tight and times were hard and people needed to develop new fuses for shells, it was quite often that they used designs from other fuses and then modified them to fit this one. So for example, I've got the KZ14 here, so you can take the top off this, and just as a proof that these were connected, because this mould would have been adapted from that mould, you can actually screw the KZ14 top onto this, lift it up, and it fits absolutely perfect. And again, you can put the KZ14 top on the KZ14 top, and it looks really odd, but that's how the fuses were adapted from one another. And it's just proof there that fuses were adapted from other fuses, and that's how the war time was saved, and how the engineers were using their imagination to sort of keep the war going. But that's a nice addition of the KZ14. It's in pretty good condition with very little damage, and it's in solid brass again. And you can clearly see the grooves around the bottom edge where the machine would have come along and clamped into it. This would have been used to screw it into the top, not to keep it in the top, but it would have clamped it just to screw it in, because otherwise you would have been holding it with your hand, and it's awkward to get hold of that and screw it into a shell tightly. So the machine would have clamped in them with claws that it would have had, spun it round onto the end of a shell, and that would have been it. It would have been sent to the front where it would have been set and then fired out of a gun. So that's it for this video. Oh, and next week I'll be doing a video of my French 75mm artillery shell, which I've recently acquired, and I'll also be doing it of my British 75mm, and I'll show you how to tell the difference and what the difference is. And yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks for watching. As you can see in there is a spring